We needed a big man. I talked too soon. When we get a big man, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Now, when it comes to the Giants, bro, you're going to see what the freak I'm talking about when I'm like, Daniel Jones was the sole reason. I did a video when I showed our schedule last game. I did a video. I showed our schedule. I showed Daniel Jones' performances, and we barely losing games. And you still got people sitting here talking about we trash. After what I just showed, I literally showed them how we gonna win with a quarterback throwing 8 TDs and 7 interceptions. You know what I mean? How we gonna win with that? But the Giants trash. The Giants trash. It takes one QB to turn around the whole organization. We are not a 3-14 team. That's why I was saying, like, when we got these draft picks, bro, it exploded our year. It made us even better than where we was. Y'all gonna see, though, man.
Every single year, we see the NFL season chew up a segment of its head coaches.
I think he's a heck of a coach, but I think his time potentially may be done.
Bro, shut up. I'm not gonna lie. Casuals like this, bro, this is what I be saying. He's a good head coach. It wasn't Brian, bro. That's what I be saying. It wasn't Brian. That's what I be saying. These casuals on the outside looking in, you don't watch Giants games, then you can't speak on the Giants. I literally watched them. I know who the problem was. It wasn't Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll sent this little trash dude to the divisional round. He wasn't saying that we won Coach of the Year in 2022. You know what I mean? The plays that Brian Daboll draw up, bro, Daniel Jones just cannot execute, bro. You need the plays that he got, bro, a quarterback. You need to have a decent or elite quarterback to run them type of plays, bro. Who you think made Josh Allen? Why y'all think Josh Allen why you think Josh Allen is the reason he is today? Who you think made Josh Allen?
There with the Giants.
Brian Daboll. They don't know that Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator.
Take a look at the season to come and see if we can identify 10.
Hey, look, they don't know that Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator on the Bills, though. And he led this trash garbage team to a divisional round.
How about we take a look at the season to come and see if we can identify 10
He's not on the hot seat, bro.
That'll be fired before the end of the 2025 season. Raheem Morris, Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, he sucked.
Raheem Morris waited 14 years for his second head coaching shoot.
He sucked.
Unfortunately, he might not have much time to hang on to it. Morris inherited a talented, if uneven, Falcons roster, and a major quarterback controversy centered around their big-ticket man and Kirk Cousins and the second-year signal caller Michael Penix Jr., who...
I'm gonna keep it real. It's really, bro, like, honestly, it's really the Falcons, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, Kirk Cousins wasn't having this problem in Minnesota. I've been trying to tell people, like, it's just the Falcons, bro. Like, the Falcons coaching, that's really what it is. The Falcons coaching, bro, and their organization. They make good players look bad, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Mercy centered around their big-ticket man and Kirk Cousins and the second-year signal caller Michael Penix Jr., who usurped him last year. The biggest red flag about Morris's actual performance thus far has been the details around game management, particularly the clock. This was put on display in a brutal Week 17 collapse that played a major role in Atlanta missing the postseason. If Morris has more blunders beneath the national spotlight, well, we could see him get pushed out and forced into a coordinator role elsewhere once again. Shane Steichen, Indianapolis Colts. Shane Steichen inherited a rather murky situation in Indy, and to his credit, he managed to keep the Colts competitive in 2024, coaxing just enough moments of competence out of Anthony Richardson and whoever else ended up under center despite a deeply undercooked passing game. Unfortunately, most all of the goodwill earned from that overachieving first year has started to fade.
I mean, I just be saying, I don't be understanding, bro. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, bro, the front office, bro, you got a job, bro. Like, whether you like it or not, you got a job. GMs, you got a job. Everybody got to play a part to becoming a successful organization. It's not just one player. Like, you can't expect the head coach. Like, when it came to Brian Daboll, you literally, like, Brian Daboll and Joe, they got through into the Lions den, bro. You seen the team that we had, bro. You seen the team that the GM, like, bro, our GM before Joe was garbage. This was the best GM we had in dang near 10, 11 years. They literally got sent into the Lions den. At least give them time to rebuild. At least give them time to fix what the other GM messed up. You know what I'm saying? Bro came into his quarterback being Daniel Jones. Joe did not draft Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? Brian Dable came from coaching Josh Allen to coaching Daniel Jones. You see how big downgrade that is? So not only, bro, everybody got to do their job. You can't expect the head coach, bro, to exceed expectations if you're not taking care of him, GM. Front office. You can't expect the GM to do his job correctly if you're not taking care of the GM. It all goes down, bro. It all goes down. Everybody has to play their part. Everybody has to do their job in order to have a successful organization, bro.
And now they're heading into the 2025 season without much to show for Steichen's tenure. And with the organization's decision to roll the dice
Oh
on
my
Daniel
God. Daniel Jones, bro. You got this boy, it's over with. That's all I gotta say. It's over. It's over. You got him, it's over.
Without much to show for Steichen's tenure, and with the organization's decision to
It's
roll
over.
the dice on Daniel Jones, yeah, that Daniel Jones, as a supposed stabilizer. This isn't necessarily about Steichen's playbook. X's and O's wise, he's done a good job. It's all about optics, timing, and
It is man, Daniel Jones.
Jim Irsay's patience is starting to wear thin, and in many ways, Steichen is simply on the wrong side.
Did he
of
just
general
die?
manager Chris Ballard's
Did their owner, did he just die? I think he just died
It's all
yesterday.
about optics, timing, and, well, volatility. Jim Irsay's patience is starting to wear thin.
Could've sworn he just died. He just died yesterday.
Steichen is simply on the wrong side of general
Coach
manager
owner.
Chris Ballard's
Coach owner just died yesterday.
unleashing incompetence. Steichen is not the problem here, but coaches in his spot rarely get the benefit of the doubt. He's caught between a desperate front office and an erratic owner. Two forces that tend to crush the middleman. Mike McDaniel, Miami Dolphins. If 2025 brings more of the same that we've seen down in Miami since Mike McDaniel took over, you know, injuries, late season fadeouts, or playoff whimpers, McDaniel could join the long list of brilliant play callers who never quite made the leap to sustainable head coach. His vision of a high-powered, dynamic, and creative offense is very clear. The results, a little less so. It's unfortunately starting to seem like he might be more of a one-trick pony more than anything else. That trick, of course, is speed and space with Tua Tagovailoa pulling the trigger. But designing an offense to work only if your quarterback avoids any contact is not sustainable. That is playing football on eggshells. The aforementioned injuries, of course, have been a huge issue for McDaniel. When Tua plays, McDaniel is 25-16. Without him, the Dolphins are just ordinary. And that's the problem. And it's made all the more severe by his inability to schematically keep Tua out of harm's way. The reality
I mean, what you expect them to do, TPS, as their starting quarterback? I just don't get it. You know what I mean? That's his starting quarterback. You expect them to play good without their starting quarterback, nigga? I don't be understanding. I don't be getting it, bro. Without their starting quarterback, they're gonna do terrible.
is that at some point the Dolphins have to evolve beyond the Tua tether, and if they can't find a way to
Let me
compete
understand
in a
it.
meaningful way in 2025 and the wheels come off mid-season, well, don't be shocked if McDaniel gets the boot. Kellen Moore, New Orleans Saints. Kellen Moore has been one of the NFL's favorite next head coach in waiting for what feels like, I don't know, half a decade. But now that he finally has the job, well, the context couldn't be messier. And you gotta think that he's kicking himself for not jumping at a different opportunity sooner. The Saints are fresh off a very turbulent season that saw Derek Carr ravaged by injuries yet again. And now he's announced his retirement unexpectedly, leaving Moore with a roster full of mismatched pieces and few clear solutions under center. That is not an ideal.
Yeah, I couldn't believe y'all drafted him, bro. You know what I mean? Tyler Show, whatever. Couldn't believe y'all drafted him, bro. But this is what head coaches don't have a say-so in, bro. You know what I mean? Honestly, bro, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'll rock with Spencer Rattler before I rock with that nigga. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'll rock with Spencer Rattler before I rock with that nigga.
Set up for a first-year coach trying to prove that he is more than just a young offensive mind with a good PR team. Unless Moore can get immediate buy-in from a locker room in flux and get something tangible out of whoever ends up playing quarterback, this could end up being a one-year experiment that flames out fast. Ryan Schottenheimer, Dallas Cowboys. All right, here's
Dang, nigga ain't even started season yet. Golly, chill, bro. Talking about fire by the end of 2025, bro. That's what I be saying, bro. Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you, gang. TPS, you don't know what the heck you be talking about. Bro, literally just got hired. Dang, he don't do good by the good. Dang, he fired just like that. Golly.
For you, you, Brian Schottenheimer is not going to even make a full season as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. That franchise has been spiraling.
I don't even know who this is.
This is the season that everything flushes down the tubes entirely, and Schottenheimer will end up being on the wrong side of that. Because, let's be honest, Brian Schottenheimer was not hired to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He was hired to be a convenient, controllable extension of Jerry Jones. Look, that's not a knock on Schottenheimer's decades of NFL experience. It's just cold hard fact, because when your last offensive coordinator stint was as forgettable as Schottenheimer's, it's hard to justify the sleep unless someone upstairs decides that they wanted a yes man. That someone, of course, is Jones, who hasn't truly empowered his
Cowgirls, bro. The Cowgirls just never gonna, they're never gonna just like take a leap. That's one thing they're just never gonna do. Like, that's one thing that they just, Cowgirls just never gonna take a leap. They're always gonna be the same. You know what I mean? It's just them. It's just the Cowgirls' way.
Coach since Bill Parcells, furthering the issue.
It's just their way.
The Cowboys
no
are
better.
exactly built to win now, but their owner just doesn't understand that. This team is wildly uncompetitive for the next year, but Jones has deluded himself into thinking that this move can ascend the Cowboys back to forgotten glory. But the more likely outcome is that they underperform, at least to his standards. Jones gets impatient, and Schottenheimer ends up getting the boot. Brian Daboll, New York.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
The Brian Daboll experience in New York has been a roller coaster, to say the least. It's not often that a coach wins Coach of the Year and then finds himself on the hot seat 2 seasons later.
I mean, look who he's coaching. Look who he got, bro. This has been his quarterback. This has been our quarterback for 6. Look who he got, bro. Look at this. Look at this trash. I want y'all to look at this trash nigga. Look at him. Do we even, bro? I want y'all to look at this nigga. Does he even look like a NFL quarterback? Does he even look like a elite quarterback? Look at this nigga. We got this nigga from Duke. You know what I mean? I keep saying it, Duke. What quarterback from Duke ever been elite? What quarterback ever from Duke University ever been elite? Does he even look like a complete quarterback? The man is trash, man. That man is garbage. You can't name one quarterback that succeeded in the NFL that came from Duke. You know what I'm saying? Bro, word on the street, the man was trash in college. Our dumb GM drafted this 3rd, the 4th, probably 5th freaking round prospect in the 1st round. You know what I mean? And hey, go ahead and ban Glock P for me, please. Can somebody go ahead and ban him for me, please? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, he's like another Dre. I'm gonna keep it real. So we gotta ban him. We gotta get him out the way immediately. You know what I mean? It's not even that comment that you said. I just been seeing like a lot of comments, you trolling, you disagreeing, and you remind me of Cupcake. You know what I mean? So
again,
just
it's not
salute to you, brother.
Playoff game with Daniel Jones, only to immediately fall off a cliff after extending him. Daboll's first season looked like a miracle. The offense hit its limitations, the defense made just enough timely plays, and somehow the Giants stole a postseason win. But the last couple of years have made it all feel like less of a miracle and more of a mirage.
Nigga, the last 2 years, nigga. You know what I'm saying? 2 years. Stop saying a couple of years. 2 years, bro. That's what happened. Last 2 years.
As the Giants have been riddled with injuries, regression, and a quarterback situation that has completely unraveled. Now heading into 2025, the Giants are rolling the dice with a 3-headed monster of Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, and Jackson Dart, and hoping for a lightning strike. That wouldn't be such a red flag if this wasn't also a referendum year for Daboll, who is simultaneously trying to reclaim play-calling duties and his reputation. Winston or Wilson may start the season, but Daboll
Wilson is starting
on the rookie. If Dart doesn't flash early, or if the offense...
He even said it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of Brian Daboll. It came out of the horse's mouth. It came out of the horse's mouth that Russell Wilson is starting.
Out the gate again.
We didn't sign Russell Wilson for 1 year. You know what I mean? Just for him not to start.
Giants could be in line for another overhaul. Daboll is a likable football guy, but likable doesn't keep you employed forever in the NFL. Brian Callahan, Tennessee Titans. On one hand, Brian Callahan was given a shot to be a head coach in Tennessee. The question is, though, did the situation he walked into give him a fair one? Unfortunately for Callahan, Tennessee might not be capable of that. The Titans are a team in transition. With one of the league's most depleted rosters of 2024, they stumbled to a 3-14 finish much and were often flat out unwatchable. They landed the #1 overall pick, which of course is a good thing. But on the other side of that coin is the reality that Callahan has to hit a home run with it, and fast. But if Ward stumbles or the team looks just as disjointed as it did last year, it's not going to matter. The Titans' rebuild needs a face. If Callahan can't become that face quickly, well, he may end up being a placeholder for the next regime. Dave Canales, Carolina Panthers.
Who's their wide receiver #1? Calvin Ridley? Calvin Ridley, their wide receiver #1. Yeah, Titans. I don't see the Titans doing anything. I'm going to keep it real with you, bro. You know what I mean? I'm going to just keep it real. I don't see the Titans doing anything.
Down the stretch of the 2024 NFL season for Carolina, the Panthers still...
The Panthers, I ain't going to lie. The Panthers, bro. The Panthers had a good draft. I ain't going to cap, bro. Like, the Panthers adding Jimmy Horn Jr., bro, and the wide receiver from Arizona.
Definitely signs of improvement down the stretch of the 2024 NFL season for Carolina. The Panthers still looked like a team light years away from relevance. And while Young's improvement in the back half of the season was a positive,
every sign, J.C. Horn.
The picture remains erratic and toothless. Now heading into 2025, the spotlight turns back to Canales. Owner David Tepper is not exactly known for his patience, or for his good sense for that matter. And with another full offseason to build out his vision, there won't be many excuses left on the table. This year is about progress. Measurable, real deal progress. If Young plateaus, the offense still can't find its footing,
you got it, bro.
Could quickly fall out of favor, especially if some of the other rebuilding teams start to flash. The room for error is real.
You gotta take time, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like patience is everything, even when it comes to life. Not even just football, life in general. Patience is everything. So it's like, bro, give your head coach time to settle. You know what I mean? Give your head coach time to settle, bro. You know what I mean? Give your GM a chance to rebuild, nigga. Your team has been garbage for years. You know what I mean? You're going to rebuild just because they ain't do good 1 or 2 seasons? Dang. You feel me? It takes time for rebuilding, bro. It takes time for mastery, bro. Give them time, bro.
Thin in Carolina.
I say give him like 4 years.
Now he has to prove that he can drive the thing. But man, it is going to be uphill. If he can't figure it out and the Panthers regress in any sort of significant way, then well, the tides could quickly turn against Canales. Jonathan Gannon, Arizona Cardinals. After 2 seasons, Jonathan Gannon is the proud owner of a 12-22 record. And well, there's still no real identity to point to with this Cardinals team. Sure, the defense has improved in flashes, the offense has occasionally shown some spark, but for every step forward, there's...
He was trash. His rookie season was trash.
Defense has improved in flashes, the offense has occasionally shown some spark, but for every step forward, there's like a step or 2 back. And with Kyler Murray now healthy and surrounded by more talent than he's had in years past, expectations are going to be very real in 2025. The Cardinals have one of the softer schedules in the league, and a fan base itching to believe that this thing is finally turning around. If they don't capitalize, if they're still losing winnable games, or Murray looks disconnected from the scheme, well, it is going to fall squarely on Gannon. This is one of the trappings of culture setting. Eventually, people stop grading your tone and start grading your win-loss column. Gannon has one last real shot to prove that he's more than a storyteller and that he can actually coach.
Kyler Murray is a good quarterback, bro.
Results. If the Cardinals underwhelm again, it's hard to see him getting another year. Zach Taylor, Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Zach Taylor is a tough one to pin down.
We already know, bro, the Bengals, the only reason the Bengals, and that's why I say like our defense is on another level, bro. We held the Bengals to until like 17, bro. You know what I mean? Like they had the best offense in the league, bro. You know what I mean? Had the best offense in the league. You know what I'm saying? It was that defense that was a problem. And they did horrible in the draft again. You know what I mean? They did horrible. Are they even going to keep TJ Henderson? Is they even going to keep him? They haven't even paid him yet. That defense is horrible. The Bengals defense, bro, is terrible.
He coached in the Super Bowl not that long ago, boasts one of the best quarterbacks on earth, and built a locker room that generally believes in him. But look a little closer, and the cracks start to show. Through 6 seasons, Taylor is actually under 500, and the Bengals have made just 2 playoff appearances. Of course, he has a bit of a cop-out with Joe Burrow missing some time. I mean, Taylor has no doubt been dealt a difficult hand injury-wise, but this is still a results business. And at a certain point, the Bengals need to start cashing in. He's not on the hottest of seats this season, season, but if things start slow, it won't take long to warm up in a severe way. But which NFL coaches do you think are going to get fired before the end of 2025? Who do you think we're right on here? Who do you think we're wrong about? Is there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to—
Hey, man, you know, I'm just ready for the season to start. The season on this way, man. You know what I mean? It's May. You know what I mean? We're going into June, July, August. Summer gonna shoot down, bro. A lot of y'all on summer break, but summer gonna fly